Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rizan from Group 8. We present to you about our analysis on Tawarruq financing between the Islamic banks in Malaysia. Today, Islamic financing is becoming the most popular aspect in Islamic bank, especially in Malaysia in this era, which offers no interest rate, which is prohibited according to the Sharia compliance on the financing to the customers. Approximately 62.5% of Islamic banks offered Tawarruq for Islamic home financing in 2020, according to the statistics. The quantity of the financing kept increasing yearly for the banks that provided Tawarruq. Tawarruq was preferred because it was less dangerous, even if it had many operational, legal and Sharia issues. The two chosen banks for the analysis of Tawarruq product are Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad and Hong Leong Islamic Bank. Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad was the first ever Sharia compliant banking institution not just in Malaysia, it was also the first ever Sharia compliant in Southeast Asia. It was founded on 1st July 1983 by the former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and has been the leader in the development of the nation's Islamic bank industry. Today, Bank Islam's headquarters is the pristine Menara Bank Islam located in the midst of the Golden Triangle of Kuala Lumpur. Meanwhile, Hong Leong Islamic Bank is a wholly owned subsidiary company of Hong Leong Bank, a conventional bank with their headquarters located at Wisma Hong Leong, Kuala Lumpur. It was officially established in July 2005, and as of right now, it runs through 5 fully fledged Islamic branches, a network of shared Hong Leong Bank branches, and more than 1,100 self-service terminals across the country.
The definition of Tawarruq. Tawarruq consists of 2 sales and 2 purchase contract. So it starts with the first contract where the seller sells the asset or commodity to the purchaser on a different basis, meaning it can get the money in the future, or the purchaser can pay at a future date. In the second contract, which the purchaser will sell the same asset to a third party on a cash or spot basis. Bring 2 banks, that is Hong Leong Islamic Bank and also Bank Islam, in terms of Tawarruq financing. Thus, our principle is Sharia principle in Murabaha Tawarruq. Tawarruq consists of 2 types, that is Tawarruq al-Munazam and Tawarruq al-Fardi. The difference is that Tawarruq al-Munazam, the buyer sells the commodity by himself, while Tawarruq al-Fardi, either the buyer will appoint the seller to be an agent to sell the commodity, or he will appoint a third party to sell the commodity. Usually the third party will be someone related to the bank. As you can see, there are examples of products from Hong Leong Islamic Bank, that is the Hong Leong Financing I, while the Bank Islam uses its product is Bank Islam Wada and Financing.
Now let us take a look on the issues of Tawarruq financing in Malaysia. The first one being on the validity of its purpose. In Malaysia, some scholars view that Tawarruq do not adhere to the validity of contract in terms of its purpose based on the Sharia rulings. The goal of Tawarruq financing, where the contract unequivocally exploits the client's need for liquidity in exchange for higher value of spot money in the future, clearly showing that the contract is breaching the validity of its purpose. Next, Tawarruq financing is used as hila to give loan on interest. Tawarruq is viewed as a riba practice where the contract operates equally as a form of debt financing by generating money from money due to the deferment by customers in return for immediate cash. Thus, this structure of financing is a concealment to the conventional transaction of credit card, which is a loan with interest. The third issue regarding Tawarruq is that the contract resembles INA. INA is a sale contract that was disallowed by the Bank Negara Malaysia to operate domestically, since it is a transaction that received a considerable amount of criticism by the Muslim scholars. Tawarruq shares the same concept as INA, which is the practice of immediate repurchase. Tawarruq is able to pass the arguments of its rationale by including the Islamic Bank as an agent to sell commodities under the structure of a third party. Next, in Tawarruq, the bank acts as a dual agent. The bank as dual agent allows them to operate in the commodity market by conjuring a huge markup on commodity assets trading. This is because the bank is the sole party that is involved in the process of buying and selling commodities with brokers without any inclusion of the client. Besides that, Tawarruq encouraged the proliferation of debt. Tawarruq in Malaysia received a high demand among the users. This form of debt financing will only multiply the personal debt of individuals in Malaysia. Consequently, the increasing debt will greatly contribute to the stress among consumers, thus fueling to the potential downturn of the economy of Malaysia. Lastly, Tawarruq is a barrier to a true resharing among the entrepreneurs. As Tawarruq guarantees the capitals and returns, individuals are discouraged to take the risk of a more profitable yet riskier financing such as murabahah. This is because this type of financing either incur a great loss or a high profit. This attitude among entrepreneurs or individuals prevent the Islamic financing to ascend to a greater position in the global market.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haziq Mukri bin Hamim Sharum, and I'll be presenting on the section 5 of the basis of preparation. Okay, with regards to our analysis in terms of our chosen Islamic banking product, which is on Tawarruq financing, both Bank Islam Berhad and Hong Leong Islamic Berhad has about the same basis of preparation, whether it be in terms of the regulatory framework in which both banks follow the principle of MFRS 9 of financial instrument, and both banks record Tawarruq financing under asset, specifically financial asset, and both banks measured Tawarruq financing under amortized cost and presented in the currency of Ringgit Malaysia. The only difference between the two banks is on the recognition, in which Bank Islam Berhad recognized Tawarruq financing under the section of financing, advances and others under the statement of financial position, while Hong Leong Islamic Bank records Tawarruq financing under the section of financing and advances under the statement of financial position. Okay, next I will move on to the section 6 of the presentation of the financial statements. This is the amount of the Tawarruq financing, the total financing, and the percentage of Tawarruq financing over the total financing for the year of 2017. This will be our base year. In 2018, both banks appears to increase their usage of the Tawarruq financing instrument. This can be seen by the increasing figure. This is also the same for the year of 2019, also the same for the year of 2020. This is also the same for the year of 2021, where you can see by the figure that the growth rate of the Tawarruq financing is increasing at a much faster rate than of the growth rate of the total financing of both of the banks. So this is a timeline of what had occurred from the year 2017 to the year 2021. In terms of Bank Islam Berhad, the percentage of Tawarruq financing over the total financing increased from 80.31% to 90.31%. And this is also the same for Hong Leong Islamic Bank, in which from the year 2017 to 2021, the percentage of Tawarruq financing over the total financing increased from 48.14% to 72.39%. This shows how much Tawarruq financing is being used over the other financing instruments. Next, I will move on to the final section of conclusion and recommendation. In conclusion, we can see that both of the banks keep using more and more of the Tawarruq financing instrument as compared to the other financing instruments each and every year without fail. This shows how popular the Tawarruq financing instrument is. Among our recommendations to solve the issue of Islamic banks using too much of the Tawarruq financing instrument is by Islamic banks diversifying their Islamic financing activities. They should do this because sooner or later, if they use too much of the Tawarruq financing instrument, the financing activities of Islamic bank will only be revolved around the Tawarruq financing, and this is not very efficient. They should diversify their Islamic financing activities by innovating new instruments and better understanding what the customer wants and needs. Overall, Tawarruq financing is a good financial instrument, but when they use it too much, it will become unhealthy. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.